World's deepest shipwreck found almost 7 kilometers beneath the waves. The USS Samuel B. Roberts DE-413 was discovered in the Philippine Sea in June, nearly 78 years after she was sunk during the Battle of Samar in 1944. It's the deepest shipwreck ever discovered based on where it was found. Hi guys, welcome back to Not Alone, your space buddy. Today's topic is the deepest shipwreck in the world, and we're going to find out how it was discovered. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get updated to every space news. Let's get started. In October 1944, during the Battle of Leyte Gulf, the ship sank. The Battle of Samar, one of the biggest naval battles in history, was a specific engagement in that larger conflict. The Samuel B. Roberts was ultimately destroyed by a flotilla in the Imperial Japanese Navy. Over the next 3 days, more than 300 US warships and about 70 Japanese ships fought each other. The Americans carried 1,500 aircraft and no fewer than 34 aircraft carriers, which is only slightly less than all the carriers currently in use worldwide. They outnumbered the Japanese air fleet 5-1. The battle had two main results. First, it stopped the Japanese from interfering with the American invasion of the Philippines, which the Japanese had captured nearly 4 years earlier. And second, it effectively put the Imperial Japanese Navy, IJN, out of commission for the remainder of World War II. Almost 30 Japanese ships were lost, and many of the survivors, including Yamato, the largest battleship ever built, were severely damaged, that they were largely confined to port for the remainder of the war. While the US fleet outnumbered the Japanese fleet in the larger battle, one crucial action was different. Task Force 77, a small force composed primarily of destroyers and unarmed aircraft carriers, was forced to engage a much larger Japanese formation. The battle took place off the island of Samar. Despite being greatly outnumbered, the small US flotilla persisted in its attack on the much larger and better armed Japanese ships despite the overwhelming odds. Vice Admiral Takeo Kurita, the Japanese commander, turned his fleet around because he thought he was now facing the majority of US forces because the US resistance was so fierce. The Japanese warships were unable to use their potent long-range guns because the small, comparatively unarmed American destroyers approached them as closely as they could. A potential massacre was averted by the small US force, but their resistance was costly. Out of 13 US ships, 5 were sunk. The majority of shipwrecks in the world are located in shallow coastal waters. Trade routes are followed by ships to ports, and coastal waters provide a potential haven in the event of bad weather. Therefore, this is where most ships fall into the sea and perish. The waters Johnston fell into, however, are quite different. They don't descend smoothly. They descend steeply to great depths. The Philippine Trench, which stretches for approximately 1,300 kilometers along the coastline of the Philippines and Indonesia, is where Samar Island is located. On the seaward side of the Leyte Gulf, it circles Samar Island's eastern side. It's incredibly deep. Victor Vescovo, a millionaire, explorer, and, to put it gently, an interesting man, found the wreck. Vescovo and Jeremy Morizet, a sonar specialist, were aware of the general location of the ship's sinking, but the location of the ship's exact location has been lost to the depths of the ocean up until this point. 98 souls went down along with the ship. It was located by Vescovo and a group of EOS expeditions using sonar shooting ships and submersibles. They located the wreckage over the course of 6 dives from June 17th to June 24th. A distinctive set of torpedo tubes on the Sami B allowed the crew to positively identify it. On June 18th, the crew got their first hint, and over the course of the following few dives, they were able to locate the entire wreck, which had split in half on the way down. Prior to the Sami B, the USS Johnston, which was also discovered by Vescovo at 1,398 feet, was the deepest wreck ever discovered. In a statement provided to IFL Science, Vescovo said, It was an extraordinary honor to locate this incredibly famous ship, and by doing so, have the chance to retell her story of heroism and duty to those who may not be aware of the ship and her crew's sacrifice. The extraordinary bravery of those who fought in this battle against truly overwhelming odds and won never ceases to astound me. According to Vescovo, there wasn't much debris pointing them in the right direction, so he was surprised they were able to find the ship. He tells the outlet that although the ship was split in two, it was still largely undamaged. The Sami B was the smaller vessel that the team was looking for out of several. Vescovo revealed that nearly 80 years after the incident, the extent of the harm caused is still obviously visible. The Sami B suffered terrible damage in the battle, as shown by the aft section, which was severely damaged. One battleship round that penetrated the aft deck and blew up completely opened up the ship and led to her sinking, as is visible. We were never able to locate the two completely destroyed rudders, and the stern was so badly damaged that we were unable to even see it. 98% of the world's oceans are shallower than the nearly 23,000-foot depth at which the Sami B's wreckage was discovered, according to BBC News. This makes the depth at which it was discovered to be particularly extreme. According to a statement from Kelvin Murray, expedition leader and director of expedition operations and undersea projects for EOS, everyone has pulled together to reveal the final resting place of this tenacious ship using a combination of detective work and innovative technology. It's been a difficult, exciting and moving expedition that honors the ships and sailors from all countries who sacrificed so much during this battle. The USS Johnston, which at over 21,000 feet was the deepest wreck ever found, was uncovered by the team last year in the Philippine Sea. According to the Navy, the first vessel to bear Coxswain Samuel Booker Roberts Jr.'s name was the Sami B. He died in World War II in 1942 at the Battle of Guadalcanal. In order to buy time and cover for the rescue, Roberts took part in a mission to free a company that had been encircled by Japanese forces by directing his boat right into the line of fire. He suffered a fatal injury when his ship was hit. The John C. Butler-class destroyer that bore his name was commissioned in 1944 and sunk by Japanese forces later that year during the Battle of Samar. Later, the USS Samuel B. Roberts was also given to two additional vessels, another destroyer and a frigate. Since the ship has been positively identified, the wreck site is now protected from unauthorized disturbance by the Sunken Military Craft Act (SMCA) as a Department of the Navy Sunken Military Craft. SMCA violations can result in fines of up to $100,000 per day, seizure of the vessel used to disturb the wreck, and financial responsibility for any harm done. Amazingly, the deepest shipwreck odyssey may not be over after its latest chapter, as there are still a number of known contenders in the region that have the potential to break this record. With this, our video concludes here. What do you guys think? Will we get bigger surprises like this in the future? Let us know in the comments.